This is V from a Canadian RVer. What we're doing today is we are on the Agawa Canyon tour train, and we're going to be going up to the Agawa Canyon in parts of northern Ontario. So come along for the ride. So here we are at the Agawa Canyon tour train, first thing. And this is what you'll purchase your tickets, but it's best to reserve in advance. This is the side of the station. Now you're probably noticing all these people walking away from the train. You're thinking, what? Well, it was so hard to video in the morning when we got there that everybody was kind of rushing to get their seats and stuff, so I didn't do it then. But this is when the train returns back to Sault Ste. Marie and the engines were pulling the train. Now what we're doing is, well, we're on our travels. And we'll be going through beautiful, pristine lakes and rivers. There'll be times that we are just a feet away from the train, from a rock cliff. And what we're seeing right here is small cottages on the lakes. And I believe the only way to get up here is, of course, on this train because there are no roads. So let's keep watching. Here you can see how long the train was. I believe we had about 10 cars with passengers. Then we had a restaurant car and the end car, which was a stone grinder, which was a car that you would pay a lot more money, and also you could rent the whole car for $25,000. More little cottages and outposts. I believe this was a part here where you could rent one of these cabins and spend some time up here, either hunting, fishing. But again, the challenge would be how to get up here in the winter months. The train stops running during the winter, but actually the lakes were just absolutely beautiful, clean, pristine. And of course, we used to have a bit of the tour guide tell us that there was great fishing up here and various other things you can do all year.
To your right, you will see the Montreal River Reservoir. The Mackay Generating Station was built in 1935 and is capable of generating 63 megawatts of power, which is enough power to supply 1/3 of the city of Sault Ste. Marie. In 1957, a third generating unit was added and the dam was raised to its present height. There are also 3 additional power dams further down the river. Once over the trestle, we will climb the bluffs above the river at mile 9. Once over the trestle, we will climb the bluffs above the river. At mile 94, you may have a view of the trestle back to your right. At that point, we will be 1,600 feet above sea level, which is the highest point on our rail line.
So right there we heard the PA system with the tour guide telling us about where we're coming up to. And they would come on and off at times telling us the highlights that were coming up. And of course everything had mile markers on the route. And just to let you know that the train travels about 140 miles into northern Ontario. And the train travels approximately 40 to 45 miles per hour. So it takes about 3.5 hours to get up to the Agawa Canyon. And we'll tell you more about the canyon when we get there. Let's keep watching. Now, as you're probably noticing, that there's not a lot of color change yet. And this is an amazing ride, of course, when all the trees are in color change. But right now, we went through the second week of September, and that's what the time that we had. But it was still very nice. There was some color change, but not what it would be, say, in middle to late October. So here I thought I would show you just what it looks like from inside the train, your seats. Now there's 2x2. You have two seats facing each other, and the nice thing about it is when the train's going in one direction, you can sit in the side of the seats that you want to sit in, but and then you can switch to the other side. So again, just going along the train here, there was times that you were having an open area. Other times you could almost reach out and touch the face rock. It was quite amazing to see how close the train came to the rocks on the side. But again, so many different vistas. I mean, there would be times when you're looking at trees. Other times you're looking at beautiful bays and lakes and rivers. And especially this area was very, very picturesque. Let's keep watching. Here's a real nice area with a nice river going through it. This was again the main river that fed all the lakes downstream too. And again, every so often you might see some reflection. Well, that was just me filming through the window. And depending on how the sun was actually hitting the window, you would see a bit of glare from the inside. But if you look at the water, sometimes it looks like it's murky or dark, but it wasn't. The water was so crystal clear all of the time that on all the travels up here that you could actually see the bottom of the river or the lake, just crystal clear. So here's a bit of rapids, and we're slowly coming up to the canyon, but we'll tell you more about it in a little while. But this was a nice river here. So let's keep watching. And if you look carefully at the water, you'll see the bottom, and it's not murky or anything. No silt was stirred up. It was just the color of the bottom of the river. Here's a beautiful vista right here where you can see the reflection of the mountain or the large hill. And it's amazing how much trees and foliage can grow on the side of a rock face. And this was called Angel Falls. Now, right here, you could walk to this falls from the Agawa Canyon. And once we get up to the canyon, I believe they said this was like about a quarter mile away from the main area. And I just zoomed back out there just to show you the vistas. But I believe there's a walking path to go see this waterfall. Again, here's where the area opens up a little bit. And right now, theoretically, we're in the canyon. And you can see the train is slowing down a little bit as we're coming down to the lowest part of the canyon in Agawa Canyon. And in a minute here, it'll start to really open up. So here's basically the start of the Agawa Canyon as the train is pulling in. And there's the sign right there that I tried to zoom in on. And this is a very flat area, very nicely maintained. What a suggestion is on the train, now you can buy food on the train. And there's water, there's coffee, there's snacks, and I believe some hot meals too. But what a lot of the people did on the train that we noticed is everybody had their cooler with their lunch, and there was enough picnic tables to accommodate everybody on the train. So it was really nice to be able to get off the train and go out, sit in the canyon, and have your lunch that you brought with you. Again, the same thing, looking down at this river here, because it really widens out. It's just so picturesque. You could see the bottom of this dark sandy color bottom that they had. And it was really, really nice to see that, because it was so pristine and crystal clear. And because there's no industry or not much up here and to pollute the waters or to contaminate anything. So here it is, the train's coming to a full stop. So this is what the train looks like when you're at the Agawa Canyon. And you can see where I zoomed in and out to get as much of the train here. Now, there is a lookout here, and it's recommended that if you're in tip-top shape, you can do it. Now, I did this same tour about 15 years ago, which I did go right to the top of the canyon. And I'll see if I can insert some pictures from the top. But what they do, the engines were at this end pulling the train, and you can see the other track on the other side. So what they'll do is they'll pull the engine way forward, switch it over, and then it'll go down that back track, and then they'll put it on the other end of the train here. And you can see way at the bottom end there where the engines were moved. So again, it'll be pulling the train back to Sault Ste. Marie. So this is what it looks like at the canyon. Now, I'll show you more pictures about the lookout. Now, the lookout, of course, you have to be in top shape, because there's places where you're going up a few steps and you stop. And then you're going straight up with stairs. So there was a shot of the engine, the walkways around there. And you get about 90 minutes, an hour and a half here at the canyon. And you can walk around, have your lunch, stretch your legs, whatever you want to do. And then they start blowing the horn with 5 minutes to board again. So here we are, again boarded, and now going back down the other way. And this was a nice thing about the seats. You could sit in the other two seats facing like the four seats together. So you wouldn't have to be riding backwards, so to speak, on the trip back. The seats were not reserved. The car was reserved. Now, what this is the Montreal River, and this was a dam that they dammed up on one side, and this is the generation plant from the other side of the train, so to speak, because I just jumped up to record this. And this power plant here on the Montreal River supplies all the power that runs Sault Ste. Marie and the various other areas, small towns and villages around here. So that right now we're up on a trestle quite high up in the air as we're going through it. And again, more beautiful lakes, little cottages, rivers. We didn't see much life, meaning birds or anything else. I think we saw 2 chipmunks basically at the Agawa Canyon. But we didn't see a lot of life. We didn't see any bears. We didn't see any deer. And there was some cottages way off on the other side. Again, you always have to ask yourself, how would they get there? Other than maybe float plane or a boat from the various rivers. But again, some of the rivers were not very deep at all. You're lucky if there was a few feet of water. So a boat wouldn't do it that way. So let's keep watching. So here we are back at the main train station. So this is V from a Canadian RVer. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Please give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe. See you in the next video.